All right. Hello, everybody who is watching the recording or here with us live for Zoom.
Yes.
We are thrilled to have you join us tonight for our all consultant huddle for December. And we've got an extra special treat tonight. Jason Harwood from Scentsy Home Office is here with us. Say hello, Jason.
Hey, thank you for delaying 2 days for me. I apologize for that. The concert was spectacular. I was going to show you guys a picture, but all I have is video. I posted a video on my Instagram story. We had fiddle music at our Christmas concert. And it was great to see my daughter singing. So thank you guys for being willing to delay a couple of days. It was my error in not knowing which day my daughter's choir concert was. But that's good to be here. Happy Thursday. I hate to ask sensitive questions. Did the pay portal finally come through? Did it finally? Okay.
It did, Jason. It
We're
definitely.
still paying a day early.
But and what you just said, like, we get so used to the fact that we're always paid by the 10th, we forget that payday is the 10th. So if we're paid earlier than that, it's a treat. But it's like we've gotten so used to it, so we all freak out.
Well, we've paid early for a long time, right? Yeah, because I saw some posts on Facebook where people were like, I've been with Scentsy for 4 years, and they've paid on the 9th every time. But it is crazy when you think about it, right? Like, because I was just kind of thinking back when we used to mail out checks. Katie, I'm sure you were a consultant. Did you get paper checks in the mail?
No, No, when I joined in 2010, and we did have like the pay portal. I had a totally different card. It looked very different. It has the old logo on it. But yeah, I had the pay portal in 2010 when
I mean, I first started at Scentsy in 2008. We were still sending out paper checks.
Wow.
Every month. And I remember that happening for a few years. In fact, Orville would talk about how it was so great to get a paper check because then you went into the bank and it allowed you to have the excitement of opening up a check and the experience of going to a bank and things like that. And we talked about kind of the emotional impact of a paper check, and then we went to direct deposit. But I mean, it's amazing, since he's been around now for 15 years, 18 years, something like that. 2004. I can't do the quick math. 17 years.
Either.
And I mean, we've hit the 10th of the month. What is that? 17 years times, whoops. Oh, dang it. 17 years times 12. Whoops. What in the world? Somebody probably already knows it. 204 months in a row we've hit paying by the 10th. That's just, and now there's 300,000 consultants that they pay out by the 10th every month. And so man, and now, my gosh, Kenya says she just got her email 3 minutes ago. Congratulations, Kenya. Go ahead and now, it's not really, I don't think it's much of a secret, but this month, Scentsy is really, really close. We are really close to hitting a $1 billion year. And my gosh, the work you guys have done, it's astounding. We, year over year or kind of on a rolling basis, we hit $1 billion earlier this year, where, for 12 months we had done it because of your amazing work. But my gosh, to do it in 1 year, especially in the middle of the pandemic and everything that has gone on, going into and out of and through and everything, it is astounding what you guys have done. And at the home office, we just could not be more grateful. If you came and walked around home office, I think the first thing you'd notice is like the 4 new buildings that are going up. We've got new manufacturing buildings going up, new storage facilities going up to be able to store more product, new distribution stuff. As you guys know, probably they're better than anywhere. We just opened up Rock Hills, and the distribution center there. We now have 4 distribution centers with Boise, Texas, Lexington, and Rock Hills, plus our international stuff. I mean, it's just, yeah, Mariana, it is amazing growth. And I tell you, from somebody who started in 2008, I'll just tell you quickly. Katie, I don't know. Was I supposed to start talking? I just started talking.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want you to have the floor.
Okay. I'll just tell you real quick. This is just real quick. When I first started 2008, Scentsy, we were in this little place. It was called, we call it Lanark. No, Adkins. They were at Adkins. And you walked in the front door, and right there was Orville's office. And right here was his poor little executive assistant. And I had been teaching high school and then had moved up to Idaho. And my wife at the time was a consultant, and she had been to Reunion in 2008, I think, and had met Heidi and Orville, and they met me, and I was selling furniture at a furniture store, and I had been a teacher, and I didn't want to sell furniture at a furniture store anymore. So I'd been bugging Orville for like 18 months, and you walk into the door and like Orville's office is right there. So I could tell whether he was there or not. So I'd be like, hey, is Orville in? And I knew if he was. And one day I walked in and Orville was there, and a couple other people. And Orville said, hey, what do you know about compliance? And I was like, man, Orville, I know a lot about compliance. We're doing a lot of compliance work. I mean, it's something that I've spent a good amount of time working on to become better at. And I feel bad. I feel a little guilt, but I think I've paid back I think I've paid back. I did a podcast recently. I haven't published it yet, but I recorded it about that. And one thing that I didn't know much about compliance, but I did have personal belief in my ability to learn. I just believe, like, I don't care if you set me into a room next Monday morning and say, do this. I knew I could learn it. And sometimes you just got to learn. We just did an interview with Flo Rama. That's not her real name. Her real name is Lauren or something or other. I can't even remember. She's the Region 3 Shining Star. Sarah and I got a chance to interview her, and on Tuesday on the Scentsy Stories podcast, we'll publish our interview with her. And she talked about how her first party, a lady was like, hey, do you want to do a party for me? She's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. She had, at that point, like melted most of her testers because she wasn't going to be a consultant really. She just bought the kit. So she'd taken like testers and put them in her warmer. So she only had like half the testers. But sometimes you just gotta go for it. You just gotta go for it. Okay. Is there anything, are we doing anything before I dive into what we're supposed to talk about?
No. Normally I like to kick it off by just like making a couple of announcements about big things going on right now. So the only thing I'll say real quick is you guys make sure and you're setting a clear precedent with your customers that for Region 1 for the United States, December 15th is our cutoff for guaranteed delivery by Christmas. That's really the only thing I want to say. So we've got like almost a full week now. We had 7 days today. So 6 days really to market the heck out of gifts and make a big push for gift giving. And then even after that, obviously, if you've got things around that you can put together for gift giving, but really we've got several days still to push for the gift giving season. So do not waste this opportunity. So that's really the only thing that I wanted to, plug. And as always, just keep checking your news tab in your workstation because there's stuff being updated all the time. But yeah, Jason, I want them to hear from you. So you just go right on ahead with whatever you've got prepared. Take it away.
You're so nice. You're so nice. Big announcement from Home Office, thing that we're most excited about. Katie, maybe you can tell them for those who have never been. World tour. We're coming to Florida, right? We got one in Florida. And if you're already registered, put in where you're going. But maybe Katie, tell us why we should come to World Tour.
Okay, I cannot type this. I have to say this.
Yeah, you've got to say, Orlando, Dallas.
Scentsy events will change your business. That's what changed my business. I know 100% if I had never gone to Scentsy convention, aka reunion now, um, I know if I had never gone to that, I would not be where I am today. Period. I wouldn't. It wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have understood the opportunity that I have had in front of me. I wouldn't have seen the variety of consultants having success. I didn't have an upline that I was part of anything really. I was just in my own real small bubble with whatever I was creating with my own team. So I wasn't really part of the Scentsy community yet at that point. And plus social media wasn't that big yet anyway then. So I was kind of all alone. And World Tour is just a mini convention, a mini reunion. And reunion is what changed everything for me. You will connect with home office, which is huge. You will get excited and fired up about all the things that are to come, which we know will be amazing. And you'll connect with other teammates of ours, or even if you're going to a location where for some reason there's not any Sunshine State superstars going, you're going to meet other consultants that you're going to connect with. So it's just all around a wonderful experience, both for you personally and for your business. And I think you should definitely make the choice to invest some of your paycheck that you got today into your registration if you have not already registered. You won't regret going, period.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to really it's hard to effectively communicate the impact of an event, but man, it's amazing. It's so good. And we're working hard to make it fantastic for you. I love it. Some of you going to Dallas, that'll be a huge one. Orlando, Raleigh, all of those will be really big and fun events. Baton Rouge, that's good. So yeah, we've got mini vacation to Baton Rouge to meet Scentsy family. That's so good. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. I've been kind of like holed up and waiting for reunion to start because man, I just love World Tour. I love World Tour. It's my absolute favorite event of the year. And we will have a great time. So okay, let's talk about Katie wanted me to spend a little bit of time and talk with you guys tonight about some of the things to do after the Christmas cutoff happens. And, that 15th will happen. And what do you do from there? Now, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. One is people don't stop shopping because Scentsy has a shipping cutoff, right? And a lot of times people are okay if you say, hey, I can't guarantee you'll get it by Christmas, but if you want, I'll still order it for you. So just because we end up our shopping or our shipping guarantee, that doesn't mean it's an end to all business. There's a couple of things to keep in mind. One, people will keep shopping regardless. Two, if you don't get like tons. We never, ever encourage people to stock up on a significant amount of stock. Never a good idea. Not something we ever encourage. But if you have just a little bit, I was showing my wrapping paper. I got wrapping paper right here earlier. That's because I feel bad. All of you on here will all of you wives on here will just shake your head at me and think I'm such a loser. That's okay. Because my wife walked in here, I'm sitting in my little work office. My wife walked in here the other day with a bag. She set it down and she said, here's all my Christmas presents. Please wrap them. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, do I have any budget left to buy you anything else? No. Oh, okay. So that's why I have wrapping paper right here, because when I had a couple extra minutes in between meetings, I quickly wrapped her presents. And she said, are there tags on them? I said, yeah, I'm going to put tags on them right now. So, but like, if it wasn't for that, I usually do my Christmas shopping once we hit about the 20th. And so there's people like me who coming into the last week will still need Christmas presents. So again, do not create a financial burden or a negative financial situation by doing this. Don't over purchase stock. Don't go crazy. But if you have just a few little things, if you have a couple of gift ideas, just bundle together, like a I don't know, a counter clean and a washer whiff or something, or a soap and a washer whiff, or I mean, a soap and a hand, a scent circle or something like, right? Just some simple little things. And you can even promote it. You can promote it as long as you either, one, don't share prices, or two, share prices that are consistent with the combined retail price of everything in your little bundle. But you can, and Katie, correct me if I'm wrong there, but you can do a little bundle where you just wrap some cute little ribbon around something. We were talking the other day at work because one of my coworkers already gave us a little cup with a little thing of hot chocolate in it and candy cane, and did it up in this little bundle. And my gosh, just having like a little cellophane bag and a little bit of ribbon made it look like it was this really special thing. So you can do lots of stuff. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a lady, she went out and bought, again, do not do this, I'm just using this as an example. She bought 99 like little mugs from the dollar store to create like little gift bundles inside of these dollar mugs. And I told her, I was like, I've been to my dollar store many times and been through the checkout process at my dollar store. I can't imagine how many hours it took if one of the checkout people at my dollar store tried to check out 99 mugs. We would be there for like 4 hours, I swear. She said, yeah, I started helping them wrap them because like, yeah. Anyway, but keep that in mind. Keep in mind that you can still keep talking about Scentsy. You don't have to stop. People don't stop shopping, and the world doesn't stop just because we say, hey, we can't guarantee that it'll get out our doors in time to reasonably get there for Christmas. The other thing to keep in mind is like at about 12 o'clock on Christmas Day, many people suddenly have some spending cash, right? Like, I already know what my gift is from my mom because she does it every year. She just gives us a little bit of cash. Lots of people get cash for Christmas. So that last week of December is a great time to be like, hey, if what you wanted was this warmer, if what you wanted was this diffuser, if what you wanted was this, right? Now's a good time. It's also an interesting time to talk with people and say, hey, there's no better gift that you can give yourself than to start a business, right? If you've got some Christmas cash, turn that cash into an investment in yourself. Could you go out and buy another outfit? Sure. Could you buy yourself your own business? Yeah, you could. And for 90, let me show you for $99 how you can invest in yourself, bet on yourself, and invest that money to start your own business. And then just quickly show them, like, look how much you'd have to sell to get your $100 back. It's not all that much. And then you've at least broken even, and now you're off and running. So some sponsoring conversations that last week can be very effective, and continue to provide opportunities and show people. The other important thing to be doing is just to be showing like your actual life. Make sure to, it's not all Scentsy all the time. If you're all Scentsy all the time, you will turn people off, particularly on social media. It's a good time to kind of pull the veil back a little bit, maybe the curtain back a little bit on what goes on in your life, things you're grateful for, ways that you're trying to help the community. It was so awesome. I did an Instagram post today about being charitable, and one of my Scentsy friends on there posted and said, what did she say? That she is, one person said, I'll be dropping off buddies to the Women and Children's Alliance for every kid to have a buddy during Christmas. So it's a good time to, if you're doing some of those types of things, to kind of talk about that. This is so, it's crazy how Instagram and things work. I literally just pulled up my Instagram. You'll never guess what's at the top of my Instagram feed. Oh, look at that cute little family. See how good she's doing it? Just like, yeah, there's our cute little family. You don't have to, and the caption talks about Scentsy, but you don't have to talk about Scentsy with everything. So you can, and thanks for the mention. So so there's lots of opportunities to share about you, to talk. I talked with a guy today. He's kind of a branding guy here in the Valley. I talked with him a little bit about branding and marketing and things. And he wears a cowboy hat. Like every single social media picture, everything I've ever seen. I did a 15-minute Zoom call with him today. He had a cowboy hat on. I said, Joe, that cowboy hat, that's just like your thing, huh? So people know who you are. He said, yep. Every room I walk into, there can be 1,000 people in that room and everybody knows where I am because I got this cowboy hat on. So this is a good time to kind of work on your messaging and branding and who you are, not just what you do, right? Simon Sinek talks a lot about that people will buy from who you are and your why. Why are you in business? Why are you running a Scentsy business? People will buy your why more than they'll buy your what. People aren't emotionally driven often by a warmer. It takes a pretty special warmer to create a strong emotional charge in somebody. Did I say Simon Sinek? Oh, okay, good. Yeah, he even has a book, Start With Why. But if you really want to get just the quick, easy version, go look up Simon Sinek. He has an incredible TED Talk that's spectacular. And it's funny because the audio in it is terrible. Midway through his TED Talk, they switch his microphone out, and he literally has one of those like paper flip charts. He has terrible audio, no visual, and it's been seen like 15 million times because the content is so good. But he talks about that people don't buy your what, they buy your why. So this is a good time to talk about that. So don't stop right when that shipping cutoff stops. Don't immediately stop your business. Allow your business to continue. It can kind of shift a little bit, right? You can talk more about what you're doing in your life, more about what is going on in your family, more about why you're running a business, but keep the communication going and continue to have conversations with people. People still want to buy. People are okay if it's a couple of days late from Christmas, and especially that last week of December. It's a great time to have join conversations and some other kind of, hey, if you got Christmas cash and want to get the things for Christmas that your husband didn't get you, or whatever, your mom didn't get you or something like that. Okay, there's one other thing I want to talk with you guys about tonight, about some things that you can do towards once we get into the end part of the year, and that is what's called your BAR, Business Analysis Report. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about some planning, some preparation for 2022, utilizing what's called the BAR, Business Analysis Report. Now, if you have no idea about the BAR, it's very simple to find. You go into reporting on your workstation. Just go into reporting and go into, I got logged out. Sales reports, reporting, sales reports, and you'll see right there, I'm not showing you because I would have to show you somebody's live workstation, but I'm going to show you an Excel version of a BAR here, and then you'll see Business Analysis Report. It's on the same page with customer purchase history and product history and promotions and things like that, but it's called the BAR. And Katie says, who's looked at it before? Put it into the chat if you've ever actually looked at your business analysis report before. And if not, that's totally fine. I'm about to show you what one looks like. So I have exported this to Excel. This is if I were to export somebody's, I just grabbed a random person's, a director's, not anybody in your group, not anybody in your whole organization. And just pulled their bar. So here's something that you can start doing. Now, November's numbers are not in here yet because we haven't, we just finished up commission. So we haven't totally, all the reporting data hasn't come through. So you won't see November on there yet. It usually populates after commissions run the next month. But so in the next couple of days, you'll have November's, and as you come into the end of December, you could almost kind of fill this in for yourself for December if you wanted to. But so what you can start doing is start planning out your 2022 kind of big bucket ideas and saying, okay, where are some areas where I can do better? And the first thing I would encourage you to do, now I randomly pulled this gal. This gal would have a tough time at this, but what you want to do is to start to say, okay, how can I beat every month? In 2022, how can I beat every month of 2021? And just pick a couple categories, a couple areas where you want to. I'm going to do a couple of fancy things here. I just deleted that top row so that I can come in here and, oh, it's not going to let me. I'm going to data and, no, I'm going to view and freeze panes, freeze top row. Now when I scroll down, that top row stays there. Anyway, that's slightly advanced, so if you got lost on that, don't worry about it. It's under view, freeze panes. You can freeze the top row, and then that just stays right there no matter how far down I scroll. That's kind of fun. Okay, so if I was this person, right, I'm immediately looking and saying, okay, my first thing is, how am I going to beat PRV from every month? And it's so fun. I just love this. And this is not a person that any of you know. I couldn't even tell you the name of this person. I just randomly pulled it up. But it's so fun. Like, it's so fun when you see 2044 PRV, 2051, 2053, 2056, right? Like, you know, hey, she had a goal. She clearly had a goal, right? In each of these months, she had a clear goal, and she wasn't stopping until she got her 2000 PRV. That is commendable. And then, you know, a couple of months, she eked it out, a couple of months. Man, she really killed it. 2,400, 2,600, 2,700, 4,400. Okay, but you want to, whatever your number is, these are some pretty high PRV numbers. That's going to be hard to beat. But whatever your PRV number is, how are you going to beat it? And there's a couple of things you want to start establishing. You start saying, okay, how much follow-up PRV do I want to get every month? How much party PRV do I want to get every single month? How much Scentsy Club PRV do I want to start shooting for? You're going to hear more about Scentsy Club at World Tour. We've got some really exciting updates to that program that are going to make it even better. But so those, you know, those are three key areas. And I just strongly encourage you to set a plan to get all the PRV you need every month from follow-up, parties, and Scentsy Club. And then when we release something like, I think maybe I don't know if we've communicated this, if we haven't, right? But you know, we got Lady and the Tramp coming out. I think Lady and the Tramp's coming out sometime early next year. The Redemption thing, we didn't get it in time for Christmas, so I think it's coming out sometime first of next year, right? But when you get that, now it's just like extra. That's how you go from 2,044 to 2,400. Is if you've got a base that just gets you to say 500 or 2,000 PRV every single month, and then boom, we come out with an LTO and your customers love it, and you're like, oh, now I'm at 2,400. If you're dependent on LTOs every single month to get to your 200 or 500, and then if we come out with an LTO that your customers don't really connect with, maybe you don't connect with it, maybe it's delayed or something like that, man, it has a really drastically negative impact. So don't allow LTO to control your business. LTO stands for limited time offer. It's things like, you know, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, Warner Brothers. It's you know, all of the kind of little special warmers and collections and things that we throw out there throughout the year. That's LTO, limited time offer. But don't let that control your business. Let follow-up, parties, and Scentsy Club control the core of your business. So you're going to start setting a plan. Okay, I need to beat 2,109 in January of 2022. How many parties, how much follow-up, and how many Scentsy Club orders would it take to beat 2,109? And just go through every single month of your 2021 and identify how many parties, how much follow-up, and how many club orders would it take to beat that number. And you can kind of do the same thing with team and group. That's a hard number to really look at. I would encourage you to look right here, active frontline. How can you, right, set a goal? I got to beat my active frontline every single month. I mean, you look at this gal. I mean, this gal was close. That is close, right? She got paid as a director that month, but whoo, barely. 3 active frontline. Here, 4 active frontline. Here, 5 active frontline, right? If I were having a one-on-one conversation with this gal, or if she was planning out her 2022, I'd say, right, we want to be more in this 7 to 10, even where she was back here at 13, right? We don't want to be playing it that close where you've only got 3 active frontline. I mean, you never want the thing that holds you back from being paid at director to be your active frontline, for heaven's sakes. You never see that. Look at that. You've got this huge group, amazing team volume, and 3 active frontline. That's no good. One thing that this does tell me, the gap here between her team and her group, and the fact that she has a first and a second and a third generation director, indicates that much of her business organization, right, the difference between her team of 4,700 and her group of 8,800, that means that most of it is coming from there, her director generations, which is not always a really healthy place to be. But anyway, that's like getting really deep down into the compensation plan. But look at your PRV, look at your active frontline, and say, I want to beat 2022. I want to beat 2021 every month in 2022. And then look right here. This column here is a big one. She's done okay, right? I mean, 5 recruits in a year, not bad. 6 last year, okay. 6 the year before, okay. 2 the year before, and 2 the year before, right? But we want to beat that number. So she's looking here and she's saying, I want there to be a 1 in every month, right? If you're selling this month, honestly, if I were having a conversation with this lady, I would say, hey, listen, are there things you could do to even turn down the selling a little bit and turn up the sponsoring? Because you need, I know that 2,000 PRV, that 30% is a big deal, but this is a bigger deal for the long-term health and success of your business, right? That keeps you from being there. So look at this number and say, what do I got to do? Start planning. How many sponsoring conversations do I have to have? And don't rely, right? I mean, shoot, we had some joint campaigns in here in some months, and on some months that helped her, and on some months it didn't. But don't rely on Scentsy's join. Are you going to do a join in January or a join in March or anything like that? Just say, what do I got to do? What's my plan? What's my system? If you don't currently have a sponsoring system, like if you just look at this gal's number and say, what systems does she have in place? And you can even put it into the chat if you want to. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention as well to the chat as I need to. But if you just look at her numbers, it tells you what systems she has in place. She's got some good systems. I mean, you look at it, this is pretty remarkable, actually. Since January of 2017, she's been paid as a director every single month. She clearly has a system in place to be paid as a director. She knows how to get to 2, right? She knows how to get to 5, 2, and 10. And 3, barely, right? I would love to talk with her about that month. I wonder if she had 3, like if it was coming down to the wire or what. That'd be fun to talk with her about. I don't even know who this is. Right? She clearly has a system for 2,000 PRV. Look how many months she's consistent, and look how many years in a row she is consistent at getting at or around 2,000 PRV every single month. I mean, that's 24,000 PRV in a year. Look at that. 25, 25, 27, 32, big time last, and then 23. She has a very good system for sales, clearly, right? But if you look and you say, what's a system she would need to develop? It's right here. She needs a better sponsoring system. Whatever it is she's doing at sponsoring, she could maybe stand to tweak it. So look at your own numbers. Your bar will tell you what effective systems you have in place and what systems you could be better at. Yeah, thank you, Joanne. Boy, she could really probably benefit from some type of system around flipping hosts or turning her best customers into hosts and flipping them. That is so true. And I love what Katie said about recruiting. Somebody said recently they watched an old video from Katie about recruiting, and it had a really big impact on them. So yeah, she threw out some good people there. Yeah, Chloe and Morgan and Mary Christensen and things. But yeah, don't forget your very own Katie Farner's training on recruiting. That's great, Mariana. That's so good, right? So so look and see what system she has in place. She clearly has a system in place for building directors, building and maintaining. Look how long she's had a first generation director. She's had a first generation director for years. Look at that. That's great. Does she have a system in place for building new ones? Not yet, no, because she's had one for years. Might even be the same person. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. But man, if you've had one first gen director for that long, the only thing she needs is another first gen director, and she'd be knocking on the door of star director, right? Which would then, from a compensation standpoint, take her from being paid on just her first gens to her first and second. She's probably throwing away half the money she could have if she got another first gen director. Again, that's getting deep down into the compensation plan. If you want to talk more, if you ever pull up your bar report and you're like, I don't understand it, feel free to email me, jharwood@scentsy.com. I'd be happy to spend 30 minutes going over your bar with you. If you're like, I could never email him, he's so busy, you'd be surprised. So I'd be happy to spend 30 minutes with any one of you going over your bar, especially if that's what we were doing, because that's like one of my favorite things to do. But so she's clearly got a system here, needs a system on developing a director, right? And that comes down to these columns here. These columns here are how many people promoted within your team and within your group. So you'll see twice here, certified to star and then certified and up. This is your team. This is your group. It said that at the top, but I deleted it so that I could freeze that top pane. So this is how many team promotions she has. So, that's not terrible. 9 certifieds, that's good. Essential to certifieds. 1 lead, right? She's got to get, as you look at this and say, what should she focus on in 2022? It's got to be getting people beyond that. I mean, look what her group is doing. 128, 36, 12 star consultants in her group, 4 new superstar consultants in her group, 3 new directors in her group, and a new star director in her group. That's amazing. Someone on her team is like killing it. Not her team or group. And that's for the entire year, right? But someone on her group is killing it. She doesn't have the system in place yet, but she clearly is highly effective and can do great things. She's just got to get as effective as the system as she has here, putting that same principle into effect there, and then getting people beyond certified. So those are big numbers to look at. Beating your PRV every month, beating your active frontline every month, beating your new recruits every month. And then I'd set some annual goals around this team promotion number. Make sure you're beating what you've done so far this year, but getting beyond that and really with a focus on leading above. And Katie says she's leaving so much on the table, and she is, because if she were paid as a star director, she'd get paid on this second generation director right there, and that's probably quite a bit of money. And then over here at the very end, it shows you your commission, shows how much you made off of your frontline team wholesale volume, what that ratio is, and how much you made off of generation directors, and what that ratio is. What percentage of your income is coming from your team wholesale volume bonus and your director generation bonuses. So that's what those columns show you. And you can see, right, 19% of her income comes from her frontline, 24% comes from that one director. She's got one director. That's the thing. She got one director, and that's alone. This month, half her money came from that one director, right? Half of her commission, came from that one, 40% right there.
Jason, I want to add this, since you're talking about that anyway. Like, some of you guys might have seen, usually every month I share my commission check in the group, because I want everybody to be able to see, and oftentimes I'll share commission checks from other leaders as well. And I think it's so important what Jason's talking about right now, specifically. And like, if you look at mine that I shared with you guys today, or tonight, you can see, like, you got to look at the numbers, like what Jason's talking about. It's great to see, oh, okay, Katie's paycheck was $25,000 for last month, but like, look at the numbers, like what Jason's talking about. $1,100 of my paycheck was from my own sales. A small percentage, as you grow your business and you empower others and you serve others and you pour into others, and help others set and achieve goals, specifically in your front line as much as possible, and then teaching them to do the same with their own front line. That's where so much of the blessing is then going to come, because you're going to bless other people by helping other people achieve their goals. And the end result is only going to be more blessing to you. Like he's talking about 24% of her paycheck was from that director's bonus, and you guys just heard me say 25,000 was my commission for last month. 21,000 of that was from my director generational bonuses, and so I say all that to say what Jason is saying is absolutely spot on. As you are growing your business, if you are focused on arrows out, who can I help? Who can I serve? Who can I serve? Yes, keep your house in order. Make sure you're partying. Make sure you're networking. Make sure you're offering this business opportunity. But when it comes to I would say, personally, I think it's more like 60-40. I think it's like 60% on your own personal business, 40% on your team. Focusing when you're spending your time on your business for your team, make sure that it's coaching them, make sure that it's serving them. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to coach them. Don't be afraid to challenge them, because that is how you're going to make an impact in their world, a big impact in their world, and in turn, make an impact in yours. So sorry, I just wanted to add that just to validate in my own experience and what they saw. Like, it's so important to pay attention to. Don't just look at the check. Last month I shared another leader's check that was $60,000, for last month. Like, you can see that $60,000 and you just get caught up in that. But like, what creates that? Are you guys paying attention to what creates that, so you can work towards that yourself? Because you can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, that's so good. And Marianne, I love your comments there. And when you say I'm always asking people what their goals are, this bar is a great tool. Every single consultant has one. So if you're talking with people about their goals, one thing you can do is say, hey, let's pull up, you as a leader, you can't access theirs, but they can access theirs. And so you can go to them and say, hey, let's pull up your business analysis report. Let's see what you did in January of 2021, if they were around, right? And let's set your goal for 2022. Let's beat, same thing. I just want you to beat your year over year. If you're kind of looking for what's a really good base goal, beat your year over year. That's kind of a base goal to shoot for. And I love what Katie said. The compensation plan is like a treasure chest, or treasure map. Sorry, it's like a treasure map. And it clearly defines for you exactly where to go. And on that treasure map, there's 3 treasure chests. Each one of them is harder to get to, and each one is bigger. The first treasure chest is your own personal sales. You unlock that one by setting up a system of consistent sales, and you can unlock that treasure chest. Again, as Katie said, I hate saying it's the easiest, because I know sales isn't always easy, but of the 3, it's the easiest, and it's also the smallest. The next one is your team wholesale volume bonus. That's from sponsoring. That's a more challenging skill set to develop, a more challenging system to put in place. But as you get better at that, as you develop that system, then that unlocks that treasure chest, and it's a little bit more difficult, and it's bigger. And then leadership is the third treasure chest. And as you unlock leadership, you unlock the biggest treasure chest, and that's where you get the most income potential. And if you're looking at Katie's check and saying, oh my gosh, how do you do that? It's leadership, right? It's putting all those things together. So the key then is, one thing, if you've got a little bit, if you're thinking, okay, I'm not going to be pushing as hard on the sales side, continue to invest the time in system development. Look at your numbers and say, what's a system I have in place? I showed you that one lady. She's got some clear systems in place that are really working for her. Keep that going. And then look and say, what are some systems I need to improve on? For her, it was active frontline sponsoring and promotions. And then start saying, okay, what things am I going to do to improve in those areas? Who can I talk to? What training can I do? What personal goals can I set for myself? What habit can I set for myself? I have kind of a personal project that I'm working on, and it requires me to talk to one person every day. Every day, I got to talk to one person, and I set my goals so that it's not like I got to talk to 100 people or 10 people or whatever, because that for me would start to feel a bit overwhelming. But I got to talk to one person a day. I can do that, and I got to do it. I got to talk to my one. And sometimes it's like 8:30 at night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to my one person yet today. Who can I talk to? Who can I talk to? And so that's the type of thing to put in place. If you say, I want to sponsor more, great. Yeah. Set a goal for yourself. Having, if you want to go as far as to say one sponsoring conversation or the beginning of a sponsoring conversation, right? If you want to sponsor more, eventually you have to get to the point where you are saying to people, hey, would you like to join my team? That, like, you don't sponsor without saying that, not consistently and not long term. Eventually you just have to say, hey, I think you'd be great at this. I'd love to have you on my team. Have you ever thought of starting your own business? And so right, you've got to get a system for how and when you're going to do that. One thing that I love is a trigger. Every time this happens, I'm going to do that. Somebody mentioned host flipping. That's a perfect trigger, right? It's every time somebody hosts a party, I'm going to offer them to join. But if you're not having enough join conversations, that way you have to set up a new trigger. Every time somebody orders 50 or more PRV, that's my trigger. And it just triggers in my brain. Every time I get an order of 50 or more PRV, I'm going to ask that person to join. Hey, this is an amazing order. Clearly, you really love Scentsy. And I love being your consultant. The only thing better than buying Scentsy is being a consultant. I'll tell you, I used to be a customer, then I decided to join. You have so many amazing qualities. I think you'd be great. Have you ever thought of being a Scentsy consultant yourself? No, I've never really. No, I don't think that's for me. Okay, great. Well, I can't wait to, as soon as I get this order in, I'll deliver it for you, right? You don't have to be pushy. You don't have to be annoying about it. But man, just every single time. So set a trigger for yourself, right? And that will drastically increase your recruiting conversations, which will increase your sponsoring. And then look and say, okay, what things do I need to do? How do I help people promote? How do I help people that join continue to promote and grow, and start looking at those systems, because those are the three treasure chests of the compensation plan: sales, sponsoring, leadership. If you want to unlock each of the treasure chests on the treasure map, you got to start putting systems in place. It's not about one miracle night. It's not about one miracle party. It's not about one, like, oh my gosh, this person joined and now I'm on the straight train to superstar director. That doesn't happen. What happens is consistent systems done with remarkable discipline over time. So those are the things to work on that I would encourage you to work on between now and the end of the year. I gave you quite a few things here tonight, so maybe too many things, but pick one. And if you're gonna do the bar, but kind of think about your why, think about your messaging, think about how you're communicating. Don't stop sharing with people. Continue to help them. Hey, you can always buy Scentsy from me anytime. Last week was a great week for sponsoring because people got cash. And then look at that bar and start setting some goals for yourself. Start creating some systems that you want to put in place. Okay. But he crams more words into 45 minutes than I did. Although I was listening to a thing today about like pacing and using good pacing in your presentations. I'm like, I'm not spectacular at pacing. That's something I need to work on, because I'm like 95 miles an hour for 45 straight minutes. And maybe I need to slow down every once in a while. But
I completely feel you on that, Jason. I'm the same way. Like, I did a training the other night for a friend, and I felt like I was like just trying to fit in as much as I could in my time. So I'm the same way. So I get it. I get you. But I thought it was awesome.
Thanks. And really, thank you guys. My gosh, this is the biggest year Scentsy ever had. I don't know if you heard, but we passed our 2020 number mid-month last month in November. So every day, every bar sold is just another indication of the greatest year Scentsy ever had, the greatest group of consultants Scentsy ever had, the greatest effort that that you guys have ever put in. This is, we don't sell anything, we don't host anything, we don't sponsor anybody, and so this is all the amazing work that you have done. So we're so grateful for you guys, and yeah, sign up for World Tour. And if you want to talk bar, feel free to email me, jharwood@scentsy.com. We'll talk about it.
And he really does mean it, guys.
Yeah, I do.